Hi everyone! Today I'm going to teach you the next step in learning how to crochet, and that is a single crochet. So I'm going to start out with the chain that I had made in my previous video, learning how to chain stitch. And if you don't know how to chain stitch, you can go back and check out that video. So I'm going to start out with my chain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count back to the second chain from my hook. So here's the first chain from my hook, the second chain. I'm going to find that, and I'm going to insert my hook right into that stitch. I'll show you that again. We have one stitch, two stitches. I'm going to insert right into that second stitch. And I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook, and I'm going to pull it through that first loop. And now, actually, I'll show you that one more time. So I found the second stitch from my hook. I'm inserting my hook. I'm grabbing my yarn and pulling it through. And now I'm going to yarn over and pull it through both of those loops. And that's one single crochet. And now I'm going to move on to the next stitch, and I'm going to do the same thing. You see this stretched out hole? That's the stitch that we just worked into. So we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to insert our hook right into the top of it. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it through. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through both. Okay, so again, that hole, that stretched out stitch, that's the stitch we just worked into. We're going to go to the next one. You can hold on to your work that's on the hook with your index finger at any time if you need to keep it from moving. So we're going to insert into there. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it through. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through both. And we've just done 3 single crochets. Okay, so again, this is the one we already worked in. We're going to go to the next one. We're going to insert our hook, grab our yarn and pull it through. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through both. Okay, now again, in the next stitch, we insert, grab our yarn and pull it through. Yarn over to grab our yarn again and pull through both. Okay. In the next stitch, grab our yarn, pull it through 1. Yarn over, pull through 2. In the next stitch, we insert, grab our yarn, pull through 1, over, pull through 2. You see where we just worked into? So we go to the next one. We grab our yarn and pull it through 1. We yarn over and pull through 2. Now to the next one. Insert, grab your yarn and pull it through. We yarn over and we pull through 2. Now we're almost to the end. We see that we have 1, 2, 3 more left. And it's good to count to make sure if you started out with 15 chains, you're going to want 15 single crochets at the end of this, and I'll show you how you can tell. Just a moment after we finish our first row. So we go into the next stitch, grab our yarn and pull it through. We yarn over, pull through both. Now I want to show you, if you mess up, you can always pull out the last stitch. That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back into there, grab my yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 2 more left. Grab the yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through both. And sometimes when you get to the end of your row, it's kind of hard to see this last stitch. So that's why it's good when you're first starting to count until you really get the hang of recognizing those. And it's kind of small. It might be a little hard to get your hook in. Insert, grab your yarn, and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through both. And we just finished 1 row of single crochet. And if you need to count your stitches, you can turn it to the side. And on the top here, you'll be able to see how many stitches you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it doesn't really matter how many you do for your first time. You could start with 10 chains and then single crochet 10. You can do a chain of 20 stitches long, whatever you prefer. I'm just doing this little piece so it's easier for me to show you. So once we get to the end of the row, we've worked from here over to here. Now we want to work back to the other side. So what we're going to do with the end of a single crochet, or at the beginning of the row of single crochet, I should say, we're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work around so it looks like this. And now we're going to work here back to the other end. I'll show you that again. So I'm at the end of my single crochet row. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to turn it around. And what you're going to see is you're going to see this chain that you just made right there. And when you pull this a little, you're going to see this stitch here that goes diagonally up. See how it's kind of slanted up compared to the rest? You see the chain you made and this stitch. That's where you're going to be working into. You can turn it to the side to see it too. So your chain and your first stitch that you're going to be working into. And if you've never ever done this, then it's going to be a little bit hard to tell in the beginning which stitch to start into. And if you accidentally start in this stitch, that's fine. When you're just starting, you're just learning, that's okay. But if you can find this first stitch, that's what you're going to work into. So I hold this so it doesn't slide around. I'm going to insert right into that first stitch. And I'm going to make sure when I insert into the stitch that I have the whole stitch on my hook. So I'm not inserting it like this. I'm inserting it into both parts of that stitch. And then I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through two. And then I'm going to keep working this row like I did before. So I see my stretched out stitch, that's the one I was just working in. Now I'm going to go to the next one, making sure that I have the whole stitch on my hook instead of maybe half of the stitch. I'm going to do the whole stitch there. And I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, pull it through two. Okay, we see the hole that we just worked into. We're going to go to the next one. We're going to insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Now we just made a little rhyme, so we can insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And the next one, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And we're working along this other side. Yarn over, pull through two. And that is how you single crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and crochet to the end of this. And then I'll show you again how to start a new row. So we insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And you can go at your own pace for this. If you need to pause it, if you need to rewind it, whatever you need to do. If you just need to set your work down and take a deep breath and walk away from it for a little bit, that's okay too. yarn over, pull through 2. I'm getting close to the end. I can see I have 3 stitches left. Insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now this last stitch is kind of hard to see, that's why it's good to count. But you'll get used to being able to recognize what this last stitch looks like with more practice. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm back at the end of this row and the beginning of the next. And what I'm going to do before I start my new row is I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to find that first stitch. I see it's here. I see the chain that I just made here and the first stitch there. So that's where I'm going to insert my hook, pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, and continue on until I get over here, and then I'll chain 1 and go back again. So I'm going back and forth, and this will get longer each time. And what I did when I was first learning is I chose a project that had a lot of single crochets in it so I could practice single crochet before I moved on to another stitch. So what I did is I made a chain. I didn't even count how many were on my chain until after I made it as long as I wanted to make a dishcloth. So I made it, you know, maybe like 6 inches wide, 6-inch long chain. And then I just single crocheted and single crocheted back and forth until I had a square. And I just made that into a dishcloth, which is really nice if you're working with 100% cotton yarn. For this, I was just teaching you on acrylic because it's easier for you to see. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you're doing with this, and if you have any other ideas for projects or techniques that you like to learn. I'm going to continue on with teaching you double crochet next. And yeah, don't forget to share and like and subscribe. And I know that this seems pretty hard at first, but I promise with practice you will get the hang of it. So thank you so much for joining me today. Bye guys.